Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. I'm your host, Nikki C., all the way from Philadelphia, PA. Super excited. Yes, you've seen that. We are celebrating 100 episodes completed in less than a year, and we're just celebrating our past 50 guests that have uh, joined our community, that has shared their stories. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of them. And we're re-highlighting them and introducing them again to the new BALM global community that we continue to build on an everyday basis. So I'm super excited to be celebrating this. This is the second time I actually run this type of celebration, a week long, just getting people connected or reconnected to just show some massive impact and hope for those that are in the space of entrepreneurial ship or professional development, and just getting the experts here to share their wisdom and their time with our audience. So I just want to say thank you. This is brought to you by the Connected Leaders Academy as well as BALM Global. And we actually tomorrow will have announcements on our new sponsor, an additional sponsor to Building a Leadership Mindset podcast, which I'm super excited about. Just lock that in today. And it's going to be just amazing. They'll be on. So stay tuned for that. So I'm going to go all the way to Arizona. And this lovely lady, I met her in December at a BLN Live. I first seen her on a mastermind, and we just connected. I finally got to meet her in person, hear her story. And I just knew that she had to be on the show because she is a true definition of going for what you want no matter what, right? So we are going to go all the way to Arizona with my girl, Lizzie Enns. Hey, love, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you for having me. This is exciting for you.
This
So awesome.
is.
Yeah.
So let me just tell you, do you see a difference from the last time we recorded till now?
Yes.
So definitely jazzing it up here, definitely making it just homely, just again, just full of hope. So tell us who you are, Liz, where you're from, and just a bit about your backstory and taking that leap of faith in your life.
Absolutely. My name is Lizzie Enns. I'm an author and I live in Phoenix, Arizona with my 4-year-old kiddo. And I run an online coaching business in the functional nutrition field. So I'm helping people feel much more empowered in their health and fitness, and specifically women in their hormones and their thyroid. And so one of the things that I like to tell people is, if you don't have your health, what do you have? So we can make all the money in the world that we want, but at the end of the day, if we're not healthy, we could die tomorrow. And what was all that for? So you got to have your health. I'm speaking to the leadership people here. You got to have your health if you want to be more productive, if you want to feel good. You got to have your health. So that's what I do. Yeah.
And you are sharing it massively on social media. I just love watching your stories, your reels, everything that you're doing is just absolutely amazing. And you had a spiritual moment recently. Tell us a little bit about that and how powerful that was for getting your clarity.
Absolutely. So in May, which was right before I went to your event in Philadelphia, I did a 72-hour fast where I only drank water, no food, nothing, no caffeine. And I like my coffee in the morning, maybe a little bit addicted. I'm strategic in how I do it, but if you all know anything about adrenal health and cortisol, like, you got to ease up sometimes. So, so that was the hardest part for me. It wasn't necessarily the food, but I did this fast for internal spiritual reasons, making yourself go in there, because we rely on food for so many things, and obviously we need food, but I wanted to challenge myself and see. My mentor asked me to do it because he's like, you got to figure out how to go in there and dig some things up and deal with it and heal in certain areas. And so I did it. One, I like to challenge myself. And so I said, all right, I'm in. And then two, it was a matter of me like figuring out like what do I need to learn? What do I need to get out of this? Because it within the most difficult, challenging times in our life when our weaknesses are exposed. I mean, and then we got to figure out, okay, how are we going to deal with those weaknesses? What are we going to do with it? How do we grow? How do we get stronger? So what I learned in that, at the end of those 72 hours of only having water, I put a little bit of mineral drops in my water and some salt to keep my electrolytes there so that I'm not like dizzy getting up. But I took some naps. I don't normally take naps. I'm like laying on the couch in the middle of the day and I'm like, I need to sleep. So that was really like allowing myself to listen to my body and like go internal there. And at the end of the 72 hours, my mentor asked me, he's like, Lizzie, what did you learn? What did you learn about this fast during this fast that is connected to your background? Because I grew up in an Amish community where it was hard work and day in and day out, and there's a whole lot more to that story, and we talked about that on the episode that we had before. So he asked me that specific question, and it took me 2 seconds to say order, structure, and discipline. Those were the three things that I kind of like dug up during that fast of like what makes you successful in a fast and how is that connected to my background. And those were the three things that stood out. But then I took it a step further and I said, you know what? Really, honestly, anything that is truly successful and built under a strong foundation has those three components to it: order, structure, and discipline. And so we took that into the health field, we took it into the business field, and we said these are the three things that you need if you want to excel, grow, and succeed and reach your goals that you want to reach.
Yes, and you actually were on the Connected Leaders Academy sharing that
Yeah.
information, and I was, there on that session, and you had some great information, but you also dropped some gems. So I do have the Anchor website, or you can go to www.buildingaleadershipmindset.com, go into the podcast section, and it'll link you right to all the episodes with all our amazing guests. And Lizzie, you definitely added value and power. It is important to take care of our whole being so that we can take care of others. There's so many times that we are just on the go and we just forget to self-care, to self-check and assess and make sure that we're in the full, right? So what you do is awesome. How can people get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me at lizzie@undeadyourself.live. You can also go to lizzieens.com if you want to get my book. You can also find me on Instagram, lizzieens_wellness.
Awesome. There you have it. That is Lizzie Ends. And before you go, because I know you're not going to be able to stay until the end of this broadcast, but we would like to know, what is your mission right now? What is your goal and what are you working on?
My mission right now is to pull people out from the crowd and to say, you can stand up, you can stand out. Whatever position that you're in, whatever situation that you're in, if you're feeling trapped, if you're feeling stuck and you're like, I really don't know if life will ever get any better than this. I don't know if it could be better. I want people to understand and know and believe in themselves and say, doesn't matter where you were born into, doesn't matter who your family is, doesn't matter who your parents are. You can't help that. But what you can do is take initiative and take those steps forward and say, okay, I can change and I can choose to go a different direction and I deserve to do that.
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you so much for your time. Like I said, I am just so honored to be in community with you. I just seen you last week. We were in New York. You were celebrating your book on the Jumbotron. Us and a group of women were celebrating warrior women, and I believe you are that as well. So I just want to say thank you for everything that you do. Can't wait to work with you more in the future. You have a great one, and thank you for blessing us with your presence.
Thank you so much, Nikki. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great one. And guys, we are going to continue this journey. We're going to go all the way to Canada with just an amazing person I met through, oh my God, we have so many communities. I believe we are either in a book together or we're in the Millie Club, but we're going to get, yep, that's where it is. We're going to get Mr. Joseph Stetter. How are you?
I'm awesome, and thank you again for bringing me back. What an honor and a pleasure.
Oop, I think we lost your sound.
Oh, second. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Oh, I was saying thank you very much for having me back. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here, and exciting 100 episodes plus. This is awesome, Nikki.
Yeah, and we're still counting. We're just bringing some amazing people that we're connecting with through these communities that we either have or we're creating ourselves. And tell us what you do, what's your background, and what was your experience on the show?
So obviously the experience was fantastic. You're a great interviewer. It's a lot of fun, and you're very succinct in your question to direct the speaker, so that makes it easier in terms of stories or directions to share. And I'm on a mission to help at least 1 million people land their dream job now, and to help organizations hire the right people or the right fit people and keep them. And so that's kind of what I've been up to, is focusing on kind of, especially now in the United States with the craziness that's going on with the downsizing left, right, and center. A lot of people are hopeless. A lot of people are frustrated. And so giving them the tools and the resources to navigate and kind of know that finding a better job is systematic and easier than they think is something that I'm very excited about doing.
What was most intriguing about when we spoke and I got to know about what your background was and what you do was the infrastructure that you have created to even share with your clients how they can be the interviewee, the interviewer as well when they're interviewing employers. Like, how would you just share a little bit of how you do that? And what are some type of questions for professionals to be aware of?
So at the end of the interview, most interviewers will ask you, do you have any questions for us? And you're supposed to ask between 3 and 10 questions, kind of 2 to 3 about the company or the role itself, and then 2 to 3 that give you insight. I'll call it there. Like, for example, what do you love about working here? If the answer is the money's great, it's a horrible culture, because most people don't mention the money right away unless they're, let's say, fund managers in mutual funds or like high level, very high paying. They'll remember the barbecues, they'll remember the little things that the company does. So 3 of my favorite questions to ask at the end of the interview, which gives you a lot of insights, is number one, what would you say is the biggest obstacle for success in this position? And I emphasize the word success because whatever the employer says this is an obstacle, you can reiterate one of your examples from the interview to show that it is no longer, or it's not an obstacle for you and you can handle it with ease. Another great question is, if I were hired tomorrow, what is the first thing I can do to make an immediate impact? And again, the listening and immediate impact is somebody that's eager to produce results rather than somebody that's here to collect a paycheck, for example. And so you'll get a real sense of what you need to do on the job when you ask that question. And the third question that I love asking is, of other people that currently hold this role or have held it in the past, what are some of the characteristics that you would like to see repeated? And then the second part of that question is, how do you see me fitting in? If they hesitate, if they mumble, if they need to find the right words, you're not getting the job. You didn't impress them. If they answer you right away, like, we love this, that you have this background and you have this experience, you're on the right track. You're a candidate in the running because they don't hesitate when it feels good and feels right. And again, part of that is, starting with the resume. A lot of people think that they can, let's say, quantify the results during the interview, but they never get the interview. So you need to start with your resume standing out, the way they interview, the way that you network, the way that you you know, use agencies, tricks to beat the job boards, how to negotiate salary. So I've kind of created a system where I've done the homework for you. The only reason you fail is because you don't do your part. So if I say to you, register with multiple employment agencies and you register with one, you're limiting your success. You're limiting your research. But I've taken it a level further by saying, here's the top 350 employment agencies in the US, and here's the top 300 in Canada. So you don't have an excuse. You already have the ones to reach out to. So I've done the homework for you. I was like, here's where to network. Here's the job boards. Here's templates of resumes. So my system is designed to make sure that failure is not an option, kind of thing, and success can be achieved in as little as 2 days.
And there you have it. That is the way for those that are looking for just growth and a position higher than what you have today, or even growth in any aspect, any company. Definitely connect with Joseph. How can people get a hold of you?
So very simple. I mean, you can see the logos in the back and on my background, but Joseph Stetter everywhere. That's the easiest way to connect. And I will also say that my system will also help entrepreneurs better understand their business, because sometimes when we're starting as an entrepreneur, we don't necessarily have all the resources, especially financial, to be an entrepreneur. So why not get a better paying job that will allow you to get your entrepreneurship faster? Because you're earning more and you have more resources to invest to then grow your business, for example.
That is awesome. And what would you tell someone who is kind of doubting their expertise, doubting themselves in any way to just push forward and make something happen?
So I will going to give this analogy. If you're lucky enough to be in a relationship, and when you come home, you don't come and say, "I did my job today." I mean, there might be some days like that, but generally speaking, you'll come and say, "You know what? I've had to deal with this issue for like 2 months now. I finally figured out a solution for it. I'm so excited. We're going to do this, this, and this, and that's going to solve the problem." That conversation is what needs to happen not only on your resume but also in the interview, because that will separate you from everybody else. And no one can take or dismiss your achievements, only you can. And so there's the mindset that a lot of people go, "I do my job and I'm good at my job," but they don't really think about the value or the result that they produce. And so the first thing is to start focusing on what are the actual results, not just to use lingo. Most people, when they write a resume or they interview, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know how to do this, and I have experience in this, and I know how to do that." And that doesn't tell me anything. Like, just because you sold lemonade when you were 10 years old doesn't make you a salesperson. I mean, it does technically, but in the sense that I'm hiring salespeople not because they gave me all of the acronyms that are related to sales. I'm hiring salespeople because they can produce a certain level of results, meaning X amount in dollars in sales, things like that. So, it's not enough to say I know how to do B2B or B2C or account management. It Give an example. Like, let's say in my career, I was hired to build a call center from scratch that was expected to generate $300,000 for the year, a sales call center, with restrictions that my team calls leads that are more than 4 months old and more than 50 miles from the nearest uh, college campus. In less than 6 months, my team did $2.25 million. So when I say $2.25 million on a budget of 300,000, if anybody's wondering whether or not I can lead a sales team, I've already proven it, kind of thing. Not just, yeah, I'm a good leader and I had a team, kind of thing, because that doesn't give me the information I need. And so that's probably why most people are scared or frustrated with their job search, is because they don't know or they don't think about the results and the value that they bring to the table. whether it's efficiency, whether it's saving money or time, whether it's productivity, uh, all of those really translates to the bottom line of the company makes money. Uh, and that's, I think, where, you know, even as entrepreneurs, yes, we have our specialty and we have our background and our experience, but it's not just that, it's our ability. Sorry, my daughter's just here. It's our ability to kind of say, we can replicate this for others and produce results for them, right? So, you know,
Absolutely.
Lizzie, that was just on, as her experience with health and her book, it's like she's got systems in place to go, here's what you need to do starting from zero to get from here to here faster, better, more efficiently, or see the results in the long run, for example. But it's not enough to just go, I'm a health coach. I'm a health coach or I'm a nutritionist coach kind of thing. Even though you might have the education, you need to have that level of connectivity.
Perfect. I think I lost you there, but thank you
Yep.
so much for sharing that. Again, if you want to watch any of the episodes, you can actually go Building a Leadership Mindset podcast on Spotify. It's on there, it's on YouTube, my Facebook pages, as well as my website. So thank you so much, Joseph. Public thank you to being in my community and joining the BALM family. It was awesome having you on. And I'm going to put you back in the green room. If you can't stay on, you have a wonderful, wonderful day and can't wait to connect soon.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, we are going to keep this moving because we have two other guests that we are going to bring on. And this gentleman that I met again through the CLA was absolutely an awesome, awesome person to chat with, to kind of see his story and his perspective of the clearest you. We are going to add on Adam Latin. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just hoping you can hear me. Am I coming through okay?
You are coming through okay.
Okay, that's great. So I'm well. I'm
Awesome.
in Peru for a little bit, but then I'll be heading back to sort of my main area of Connecticut. But I do almost all my work virtually anyway. So people literally anywhere in the world can connect with me and work with me. And I love being able to connect with people kind of wherever they are.
That is awesome. Well, I that's exactly why I didn't say where you were from because I knew that you were traveling. So I said, okay, let me just let him say where he's at. But you are in the beautiful Peru.
I
That's
am.
where we actually had our interview and we talked about some amazing things on how you help families really understand each other. And through that process, tell us just a bit about that and how what makes you happy about doing that work?
So I really believe that nowadays, with the internet and so many other factors, we're dealing with very unique value systems. Everyone's functioning a different way. We're understanding neurodiversity. We're understanding that people really are now becoming more and more unique generationally. And so I get really excited about helping people find out who they are individually, to really be able to let go of maybe generalizations or old programming or different things. And working with families, especially if they're finding a hard time communicating, what they really need is a mediator, is someone to kind of work with all of them that can translate sort of their point of view into someone else's point of view. Because I truly believe in most cases there's a desire to be understood and be understanding, but that you really need that. It's almost like you get too hurt by the lack of understanding that you're not able to really create more understanding. And so I'm that person that comes in and I typically will understand and be able to work with anyone, no matter how they function, whether they're neurodiverse, whether they have just a different value system, a different idea of what it is they need, because I ask questions first, rather than a lot of people sort of enter into connection with a preconceived notion of how people are. And so, really being able to sit with people, help them feel understood, cherished, celebrated, supported, and knowing those are all completely unrelated identities and concepts, that they aren't necessarily the same as people try and meld them. That's what I really love the most about the work that I do.
Yeah, so when we spoke about those things, I was very intrigued on some testimonies that you had shared with me about some of the families that you were able to really be able to pinpoint the difference in the expectation, right, of that
Right.
person, like mother-daughter dynamic, sister-brother dynamic, things like that. So that's what really
Yeah.
intrigued me about all of that. And it was just awesome having you on the show and to be able to share that. How was your experience being able to come on a platform and really put that out there?
I mean, I really love the opportunity to be able to present my sort of unique points of view and the opportunity to really work with someone who's also willing to listen and ask the right questions because it just draws you out better. It's people don't realize the power of asking a question over making a statement. And there's just something powerful about someone who knows how to ask the right questions. And you definitely obviously know how to ask the right questions. And that's really a very comforting thing for not just me, but many, many other people. And so it's definitely something that I celebrated about being able to have that experience. You know, really being able to enjoy knowing I was in, good hands, as it were.
Yeah, it was awesome asking you questions and picking your brain and just really getting to know you, your heart, what you do, and how our audience could really receive this information and understand there's other ways to look at our situations, right? And sometimes when we don't have that understanding and we have people like you that have developed a system that can help them kind of get that clarity and that relational um, system that
Connection.
can help people really connect on different levels. So it was just awesome interviewing you. How can people get a hold of you?
People can always connect with me through the clearest you at Gmail. You can also, I know not everybody's comfortable with it, but I'm perfectly comfortable giving my phone number, which is 860-805-0482. Texting me is really easy. Um, and if you, for whatever reason, because I am in Peru, for whatever reason, you don't receive a message back within 24 hours, definitely make sure to try and call and leave a message. But it's 860-805-0482.
Thank you so
So,
much for that. And what are your goals for the rest of 2023? What are you looking to do and how are you looking to impact?
so I'm actually really excited about the fact that I'm going to be collaborating with a number of people, a couple of which I met through the CLA, and one of which I met through a separate organization. For me, collaboration and working with people adds just a dynamic to your work. And so we're going to be doing some group coaching and some different dynamic things. One of the people I'm collaborating with is someone who works with people who are struggling through the after effects of divorce, and specifically parents who are trying to raise their children through the after effects and impact of divorce. And so we meld together really well. I'm really excited to see what we create. So that's
Powerful.
really my thing is collaborating and really working with as many different dynamic people as possible. Because I
That
only
is
know
that is awesome. That's actually what I think authentically comes out of these masterminds, these communities, and stuff like that. And I'm sure we have someone who's very, very happy to hear that, but I'm still not going to give that away. But I know collaboration has been ongoing since I even got in this space in this community with the Connected Leaders Academy, and we have some amazing things happening. So just to hear and witness that it's just continuing, and we've been seeing it happen over and over. Just a wonderful community to be a part of. Thank you so much, Adam. If you can stay until the end, I'm going to bring you guys back just to have a group discussion. But I do have a very special guest. I'm going to put you back in the green room. And before we go to that special guest, I'm actually going to share something from our sponsor.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JAESCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
Welcome back. Welcome back. So we have been celebrating all week long our past 50 guests for our 100th episode, just celebrating those who we have interviewed and bring into the BALM family to really share their value, knowledge, and wisdom and experience here so that you get all the tools that you need or inspiration, hope that there are things out there. There's opportunities out there to definitely explore and grab as your own. So I wanted to bring out a special guest because this person has actually been with me from the beginning, which is super exciting to be able to share this monumental moment with this person. And he is none other than the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We have Jose Escobar. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
I am well. I am well. What are you enjoying about today? What have you seen? Things are happening.
Things are happening all the time. The clock never stops. Life doesn't pause. The train keeps moving for the people that are ready to take massive action and stand up and live fully alive, is what I say.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. And that is exactly what is happening in your world. So tell us a little bit about who you are, because I did say your name in the beginning, but I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Yes. So my name is Jose Escobar, founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf and the Connected Leaders Academy. I am happily married to my wife, Katie Escobar, and have 5 wonderful kids, 16-year-old boy, 10-month-old boy, 6'4", 3 girls in the middle. And I was born in Washington, D.C., raised in Maryland all my life. I am a martial artist. I've been training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai kickboxing for many years. I have an extensive background in sales, management, coaching, consulting, you name it. From banking, I was a branch manager for a couple of banks. From life insurance to property and casualty, I was with State Farm and Liberty Mutual for some time. And then I was a sales director for a global martial arts company, which really married all of the great things that I love so much: sales, networking, coaching, martial arts, all in one job, one career. And then I said, enough is enough. I had a heart-to-heart conversation with my wife, maybe, I don't know, it was January 15th of 2022, so 16 months ago-ish. And that was the defining moment where I went from no business to 2 businesses, 7 income streams, surpassing 7 figures. And I'm just so excited. And guess what? I got to tell you something, Nikki. That how fast it was done is awesome. How much was done is awesome. But what's even more intense and exciting about that is that it was done organically. No website, no funnels or automation of any kind. zero ads, paid ads, zero marketing budget, no email marketing, email lists, none of that, right? There was no connectedleadersacademy.com. There still isn't. It was all word of mouth, organic growth. So that is a bit of what I'm up to, where I was, where I'm headed. And I'm excited to be in your world, to be the sponsor of your amazing podcast. And you're doing some phenomenal things, and you're inspiring people every single day. And I'm just honored to be in your world as well.
Thank you so much. We are honored to have you. I am honored to have you, to have met you just 1 year ago, which you were probably at that time 5 months into creating the Connected Leaders Academy. And when we had our virtual coffee, and I seen the I saw the vision that you had. I actually saw your heart is really what I seen, to say that you were on this mission, and I knew I had to be a part of it. Didn't know why I needed to be here or what was going to come out of it, but to see it a year later, to see how you have grown, what you have done, how I have been inspired by you, and how we just are here today, right? Celebrating 100 episodes plus, with BALM Global, starting a second podcast with Ladies of Leadership, which is going to actually be live right after this. So
Wow.
this is just an amazing time to be in this space, and you are just growing. So I just wanted to publicly thank you. I wanted to bring you back on here because I knew we were going to have some CLA members here, right? So we're
Yeah.
going to bring them on in a minute. But I don't know if I got to tell you or shared with you that on Tuesday, we actually had 4 people that had never met each other, but they've all been on my podcast. So they were literally like connecting right there. And then they were like, oh, well, I have to connect with you. It was just an awesome thing to witness and see. And I feel like that's what, um, I would like to know, what are your feelings every time that you see something new, those collaborations that are happening, those connections, the growth of your tribe? Like, how does that make you feel?
Makes me feel amazing. It's just like every room that I go to that I speak in, because I'm always speaking somewhere, right? And I'm always attending events as well, not just speaking. Like I'm the kind of guy who will pay to go to an event just to be in the room, and network and sit in a chair. I don't got to speak everywhere I go, but I love to speak everywhere I go, right? But I don't. So anyways, I just love going into these rooms and identifying how many people in that room are from the CLA. And every time, as every 90 days goes by, there's more and more people that are like, yep, I'm in a CLA. I'm in a CLA. Like I saw 3 people you just had right now. The last 3 guests you had, Joseph and the 3 people you just had on, I mean, they're in a CLA. So I'm just loving the growth, and it's organic. People are referring people, right?
Yeah.
They are literally sharing this with their friends because why? They're happy. We're in a place where everybody's growing, and iron sharpens iron, and a rising tide raises all ships. And when you win, I win, and vice versa. And that's what it's all about. Being in a community that's intentional, where people are here to serve you. They're here to seek opportunities, and how can we grow together? How can we make this a win-win conversation? And that's what it's all about, and that's what's happening. And the scary thing is we're just getting started, Nikki. We're just getting started. We haven't even gotten anywhere remotely close to where I want to be. The vision is 1 million members in 100 countries, right? That's the vision. That's the bigger impact that we're here to do. We're here to change the world. We're not here to poke it with a stick. We're here to change the world.
Absolutely. And I am definitely on that journey with you for sure. As you know, I revamped and rebranded my name to BALM Global, and we're definitely going on tour in 2024. Super excited about that journey and what we have already put in place to get the dates. So the dates are actually coming out in July, what the first 6 months is going to look like in 2024. So I'm excited to share that. I'm going to get the guys back on because Lizzie had to jump off, but we're going to get Joseph and Adam here. How are you, Joseph?
I'm excellent. Thank you.
So we're just going to have a few nice, quick questions, conversations, things just kind of off the cuff. And first I want to say, like, Joseph, how long have you been with the CLA?
I think I joined 5 months ago. roughly. I think I joined in February, March. I think that's when Jose and I had our initial conversation. I've been in and out of the CLA because life's been hectic, so I haven't had a chance to kind of attend some of the meetings as much. But I reach out strategically to some of the people in the CLA and go, okay, can we have a conversation here and so forth? And
yeah, so there's definitely virtual coffees happening, and that's the whole point. Like we have so many communities, and we're so spread out. It's like, okay, we have to pick and choose, right? But staying connected is the most important part of all of it. So Adam, just share with me some of the values, and you just had actually mentioned that you have some collaborations coming up and you're excited about that. What was the importance of joining a community that was going to help you get those connections? Like, what kind of tell me, like, what has
So
that mission
I'm a unique sort of person, especially in the field of entrepreneurship. For me, I don't actually believe in being self motivated. For me, I really need a community. I'm more externally motivated. It's my relationships, my interactions with other people. So, what really drew me in is the opportunity to network. And especially on the second Fridays, fourth Fridays, those are my favorite events the CLA puts on. So, for me, I'm all about the opportunity to connect and engage with different people I wouldn't definitely have the potential to meet without that networking activity. So for me, I just do better working with people. So the opportunity to work with people that have already, Jose vets people pretty well. He takes you through an interview process. He doesn't just say, oh, you want to join? Come in. Like he makes sure that he has the right type of people in the group, and he really is very good about qualifying who deserves to be there. So for me, that was really the main draw, is to know that I was dealing with quality individuals and I had the opportunity to really engage with authentic connections with people that aren't just kind of going to give lip service to you.
I agree, and I witness that all the time in our masterminds, in the individual virtual coffees and stuff. So it's very important that we have a leader, right, that is actually vetting them out before we even get to meet them. And then we're like, oh my God, we like fall in love. We have this instant connection that we feel like we've known each other for like years, right? And that's why I put on this community here through my podcasting, is because when in those virtual coffees, I'm making those connections. I'm like, oh my God, like these people are just doing amazing work. We need to give them a platform, a stage, some more opportunity to expose themselves. And if anyone in our communities, and I believe everyone in our communities that have podcasts, we kind of just continue to share that knowledge, that wisdom, and that familyship. So, Jose, how have you, like, what is, and I know you've told us, we know this, but let our audience know, what are the 5 things that you need to have in order to be qualified to be part of the Connected Leaders Academy?
First of all, I got to say, I absolutely love Joseph Stetter and Adam Latin. They're both amazing. They're absolute experts at what they do, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. When I created the CLA, I wanted to bring the who's who, the people that are doing big things, high performers, titans of industry, the people that have paved the way in their industry and what they do, right? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the high-end folks that want to go to the next level. They understand it doesn't matter how big they are, there's always a next level, right? None of us have arrived. And iron sharpens iron. How can we support each other and be bigger and better? And that's what it's all about. So they're awesome. I was actually just looking at the event that's coming up with Marianne and Juanita, right? And Lori McNeil, Julie, Linda McBee, Joseph Stetter, Yasmin, Lisa Charles, Adam Geddes. I mean, 80% CLA members, so 85% actually. So I just find it, I love that. I love seeing that, because that's telling me, guess what? There's a movement here. Things are happening, and we all love each other. We're a family. We're tight knit. So the 5 things: grow personally and professionally, right? We all want to be better people, better entrepreneurs. Number 2, scale your influence. We all want to be more of an authority in our space in terms of, the go-to person in our industry. Number 3, to move the needle in our business, more leads, referrals, collaborations, endorsements, right? More money, the bottom line, more clients, and even some partnership potentials. How many people have partnered up in a CLA and launched businesses that would have never launched? I can count like at least 15 of those people, right? A lot of stuff has happened that would have never happened if you guys didn't meet in the CLA. And then number 4 is to develop our skill sets, right? None of us have arrived. We're always working on something. It's a community where iron sharpens iron. And then number 5 is to grow your network and your circle exponentially. We've all heard it's not what you know, it's who you know. Your network is your net worth. We've heard all these amazing, cute little sayings about your network, right? And that's what we're here to do. We're here to build that network with intentionality and not just harpooning people and spear chucking people on LinkedIn and DMs on Facebook and BNIs and local chambers of commerce and all the traditional things that most people are doing. We're here to change the space, to change the game, to create global impact, and to do it with the right people.
And if I can just add to that, there's also a level where, as quote unquote a Canadian, it's harder for me sometimes to connect with Americans locally and kind of go, here's where there might be. So even though you might have a virtual coffee, at the time of the coffee, you're like, okay, now that I know who you are, once I meet the right people, I'm happy to recommend you, kind of thing, because I've had that conversation. But for me, like right now, I'm very aggressively expanding into the United States. So having the opportunity to speak to people and go, listen, if you have contacts in businesses that need help hiring great people, introduce me. I'll make it worth I'll give you the kickback for the referral. And it's a win-win-win situation because we all grow and level up. And so, your business can grow monetarily without you having to do anything in your business, because let's say you're getting referrals from people like myself that are going, here's a check, here's another check, thank you for the business, kind of thing. And so CLA is a great platform, and same with your show, like the BALM Global, Nikki, that allows people to go, oh yeah, I forgot that I know this person, or oh yeah, you know what, my friend just talked to me about this, and I just saw the podcast that there's that I need to go reach out and so forth. So I think a lot of, at least for me, the leads of CLA and the conversations have come from, like, I posted something on social media and people are like, oh yeah, I saw this, let me have a conversation, and kind of come back to you. And it's vice versa, because at the end of the day, I know what I know what I don't know. And so I need to surround myself with people that know stuff that I don't know, so that I don't need to make mistakes to expand faster and do things that might be different, for example.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly how it happens. You get into the room, you say yes to yourself first, right? You make that investment, you get into the room. And when I first got in, I had no expectation. I just knew I wanted to serve a community and I wanted to have a community serve me back. And this is exactly what I have gotten for the past year. Oh my God, year and like a month. But it's been absolutely amazing being on this journey. And we're going to close up with just one major question. And before last year, actually before this year, I never used the word for the year. But now that we're almost at halftime, we're about to get into the second quarter. What was your word for the year? And have you continued to live up with it? Have you switched it, or are you going to move forward with that word? So I will ask Adam first.
Well, I didn't really have a lot of time to think about this, but I think for me, the word for the year is definitely expansion. Like for me, that's really where I've been at this year, is it's expanding in different ways and really knowing where I can grow professionally, personally, in all sorts of ways. And so that's my word, is expansion.
Expansion. I love it. And there's always room for growth. Absolutely. Especially when you are fully focused and aware that that's what you want, you go for it. So great word, and continue to go on that journey. Joseph.
If I may, I'm going to use 2 words, because we're also part of Milk Club, where the word there is convergence. But I think my personal word is presence. And I think that, I've spent a lot of time in my business kind of initially building the reputation of my business, but not necessarily people knowing how much I do for the business, or how like the expertise that I have that I bring to the table. So I had to take a step back and go, okay, I've done all the stuff, but not enough people know about it. So let me create that presence of, here's the expertise and here's what I bring to the table that combine certain things to ensure people that when they're doing business with me, it's not just, oh yeah, you wrote a book. There's a lot behind it as well, kind of thing. And there's proof behind it.
Awesome. It's definitely important to have a full presence in anything that you're doing so that you are making that authentic connection. So great word. Thank you. Continue with that. And Jose.
Great words. My word is systems. So the first word I had when I started the one word of the year, right, was execute. Execute was my first word. And then I went to monetize, where the CLA was born, was monetize. And then now it's systems for 2023, because I intentionally didn't want any systems. I wanted to build something from the ground up, from 0 to 7 figures, without doing any type of systematized automation of any kind, right? And now it's like systems. So now it's like, I'm working with Gaetano right now, Gaetano from Malta. He's one of the folks who's helping me initiate systems. He's in a CLA too, right? So whenever I need something, I look in-house. If we look at, Patrick Root, he's my money guy, right? Ray Ramage, he's my business credit guy, CLA guy. I look at Dr. Andrea, my publicist, events coordinator. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So that's the cool thing about, anyways, I'm getting off topic. I just like to talk. I think I just had a coffee, so you're gonna have to excuse me. But my word is systems, and I'm doubling down on that. Can't wait for 2024 to see what that word is.
I love that. So I never, before this year, I never used words. I didn't know that you would live off of a word for a year, right? So if I can name last year, it was definitely transformation. But this year I was very intentional to choose impact. And it's crazy how when we launched our book, me and Jose launched our book back in January, the impact it has made and everything else that kind of came with it. So I am still running on impacts. I am looking just to impact as many people, as many communities, just to really show the power of maximizing on these communities, on these masterminds, on these really how to take advantage and pick and pull what will serve you and what can continue to serve you. So I have been just loving everything about this journey. Just again, using this platform again to get to know you guys. I actually go back and re-listen to it, especially when you guys are dropping those gems, and I take notes and definitely implementing it and slashing a little Nikki on that. So that's why I do this. And again, for people to connect with each other, because I'm in various communities and people need to know what BALM Global is doing at all times. And I just want to make sure that if I can be a part of that journey for everyone and give them that space, this is why I do what I do. So we do have one more guest that we have here. Actually, no, they will be back tomorrow, right? We'll give you the full time. Thank you so much. It has been absolutely amazing. Thank you guys again from the bottom of my heart for continued support, continued collaboration. And I just want to close out with just saying thank you. And thank you for joining us. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. If you haven't watched any of these, Jose actually has interviewed at the very, very beginning, so you can go back and watch that. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset. And as I always say, have a great day and make it count. See you guys soon.